Stonehenge stands out as one of the best-known ancient historical monuments in the world. Its beauty is only as big as the enigmas that surround it. These remarkable ruins are found on the Salisbury Plain in England, less than 200 kilometers from London. Its construction began around 3000 BC during the Neolithic period. Some stones were used to erect the monument are exceedingly heavy, reaching up to 50 tons. These heavier stones were taken from a region 30 kilometers away from Stonehenge. The lightest stones came from a distance of approximately 200 kilometers. Canoes were used for these journeys to cross waterways, and later, on land, the rocks were conveyed by a special kind of sled, in which they were loaded, tied by ropes, and then driven by men and animals. The monument is also formed by some very tall rocks, up to 5 meters high. These boulders were placed close to each other in a circular shape. It took about 2,000 years to completely build Stonehenge. It was thoroughly accomplished in 3 separate phases, and from what is supposed to be a work that took more than 30 million hours. Timber, beams, ropes, and levers are counted among the main materials used in the Stonehenge construction. To arrange the stone blocks in their places, a hole was dug in the spot where they were to be positioned. Using logs and a lever, the rock was then slanted to fit into the dug hole. After this, the block was lifted by ropes. Lastly, bits of boulders were still used to fill the holes. During its first stages of construction, the monument was just a circular ditch, 97.4 meters in diameter, with only one entrance. Within it, there was a set of stones and a wooden shrine. This was in 2600 BC, and studies have shown that at this time, the stones used at Stonehenge came from Preseli Hills. This era of construction is also distinguished by the presence of the Aubrey holes, external holes in the perimeter containing human remains. The second phase included changes to the wooden sanctuary and also a new entrance. An outer circle was also designed in this period, in which 35 stones were used. During the second phase, 2 circles were also made with blue stones. Lastly, in the third stage, several rocks were toppled, and other rocks from the northern region were added. Stage 3 was also punctuated by the addition of megalithic stones, large stone blocks. Blue stones were knocked down in this phase, but were later re-erected again inside the structure. Said 3 phases were about 2,000 years apart, and, throughout this period, the site seemingly stood derelict for a time. Many theories concerning the origin of Stonehenge have been suggested over time. Some experts have concluded that the monument was created by the Druids, a Celtic class of society. But others suggest that Druids just made use of the rocks that were already there. Some people also say that the Romans were the ones who built the Stonehenge, but this is unlikely. Also, there are suggestions that the origins of the site are somehow connected to the village of Durrington, as archaeologists once found a wooden replica of Stonehenge there. And, not surprisingly, some believe that the monument was built by aliens. Speculation has also been rife as to its role. Some people say that the site was used for rituals, sacrifices, that it was a religious temple, or that it was used for healing practices. Stonehenge is also presumed to have had religious and astronomical purposes, and was used for the sighting of the solstices and equinoxes. These astronomical events were essential for agriculture, which was an important part of the day-to-day life of the civilizations of the time. The solar calendar function seems to be the most plausible, not least because on June the 21st, the summer solstice, the sunrise is precisely aligned with the main stone at Stonehenge. Some studies still point out that the site was a cemetery, as there are graves and remains found in the surrounding area. However, this place remains a mystery, and it is unclear why it was built. There is no consensus as to its purpose. Stonehenge is among the most fascinating and puzzling legacies of the prehistoric period, and is arguably the most famous site in the entire United Kingdom.